Hey people, today is Friday, January 17th. It is 6:10 p.m. and the temperature right now is a rather nice 2 degrees Celsius, and I am not really awake yet. Do you ever just wake up and never really get going, and then the next thing you know, the sun is down and you don't know what the heck you did with your day? Well, that is me today, and this is my attempt to get out and do something as I fail to turn the camera around. There we go. I'm standing here at Bay and Cumberland Street. And I just took a fairly long walk to get here. One where I didn't have the camera rolling. There's some people heading into Bay subway station. But for this one, we're just going to be walking south down Bay Street down to Union Station at the south end of the financial district. This is up in Yorkville right now. Or should I say Bear Street, as it was called in the 1700s. Supposedly due to all the bear sightings in the area. And then in the 1800s, when it was extended south down to the harbor, it was renamed Bay Street. And that's a look east along Bloor Street West towards Yonge and Bloor. This isn't going to be a particularly long walk, but we'll pass by Nathan Phillips Square on the way. And when we get to Union Station, I'll wrap up recording. And depending on how I feel, I may record another video or go live. Or I might opt to just go home, where I'm sure I'll continue that fabulous tradition of doing absolutely nothing today. It's a little bit warmer tonight than last night. The Manulife Center across the street. Which was at one point the tallest residential building in the city. It's a brutalist complex. Got a movie theater, a shopping mall, Indigo Books, Bay Bloor Radio, Italy. There's now an Earl's Kitchen. As we get to Charles Street West. Which leads into the University of Toronto St. George campus. There's some pretty good restaurants over towards Yonge Street on Charles Street. Yes, let's start our turn.
Then you'll say it.
Right when the pedestrian light appears. Maybe there's just no caffeine in the coffees I had earlier today. This is south down the west side of Bay Street. There's a little bit more in terms of things to look at on the east side. It seems like every time I do a video down there, I'm on that side of the street. Let's stay over on this side. Direct travel. It's probably going to be quiet until I get to College Street. Teamwork makes the dream work. Tandem Amazon delivery. There's the Firkin Bay. I stopped there and had lunch once on a live stream I was recording over the summer. I believe this is St. Basil's Church. Dates back to the 1850s. And it's got this unique art in front of it. This was based on a prematurely born donkey. I think it's called Primrose. Not sure of the full story behind it. That appeared back in 2020, and it's been a fixture of this site ever since. There's a 7-Eleven across the street. The one at College and Yonge recently closed down, as I discovered in a video I was recording yesterday.
Good seeing you.
There's a second cup that seems to be doing well. That's kind of the Canadian equivalent to a Starbucks, a chain that's been shrinking over the past few decades. I think its headquarters are in Quebec, but this one has stuck around for a while. There's where the old Sutton Place Hotel used to be. There's now a Sutton Place down by King and Blue Jays Way. That was a 33-story hotel that was closed and gutted. And I think they increased the height and turned it into these modern condos. This is a complex that belongs to the Ontario provincial government. Formerly known as the McDonald Block Complex. Looks like they're still finishing off rather extensive renovations to it, but Queen's Park and the Provincial Legislative Assembly is just over to the west of it. I think that complex is home to about 15 different government ministries. I'm sure this fence will come down at some point and open up that public plaza. Definitely has the look of a government complex. I wonder how many government employees ride these share bikes to work. Maybe going to work for a government that is not a fan of cyclists in the city. But as you can see, Bay Street is kind of like a hodgepodge of condos and office towers, random buildings. This section at least isn't really a destination. And this street coming up is Grosvenor. Looks quite nice. Dopa Restaurant, D-O-P-A, Dopamina.
I'm close enough.
Here's the place I wouldn't mind going to. It's been a while. Nando's. There's not a lot of people in there. They closed a few locations in the city over the pandemic. That's an old GM car dealership building, if I'm not mistaken. Enjoy lunch for less. Quarter chicken leg plus side, $9.99. Eat your heart out, Swiss Chalet. As we approach College Street, I say we, but it's really just me, but you're virtually with me at least. There's College Park across the street. There's an ice skating trail in there. The Aura Tower in the center of the shot. She's walking around with a bag of booze and a party hat. The streetcar is probably connecting from College to Dundas. You'll see them sometimes just chilling on the stretch of Bay Street. Yes, we are open. gentsbarbershop.ca. The residents of College Park over there date back to 2006. So in the grand scheme of things, they're a newer addition to the area. The residences, I think I said residents. There's a number of hospitals just west of here. And we'll be going by Sick Kids Hospital pretty soon. This is Gerrard Street West. Yes, let's park in the bike lane. All right, this is part of Sick Kids Hospital on the right. There's a place across the street called Kaka Sushi, K-A-K-A. If you're familiar with the language and know what that might mean, I'd be curious to hear, since it's a rather interesting choice of restaurant name. This is Elm Street. There's an old hotel that used to be located, or was located, in this building. Not sure what the plans are for this site now. And these are getting rarer. A surface parking lot. $10 each hour, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's the old Toronto coach terminal. It's one of the few instances of an Art Deco building in the city. That goes back to 1931, and it was replaced by the new coach terminal at CIBC Square, connected via a sky bridge to Union Station. It's never the prettiest of buildings on the inside, but it's quite neat on the outside. Oops, my camera. Going on a little adventure, like I'm sure some people did from that coach terminal, or people arriving from the coach terminal probably did to start a new life here. That old trope of taking the bus into the big city. This is Bay and Dundas Street West. It's the Eaton Center. Dundas Square off in the distance.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you.
There's the Marriott. We're coming up upon New City Hall. Old City Hall is just straight ahead to the left. New City Hall opened in 1965. And the old one functioned between 1899 to 1966.
So you wind up freezing a lot of
And we're probably not going to get to hear the bells ring. They ring every 15 minutes. Up in the old clock tower, given that it's 6:35. We'll probably be well south of Queen Street by then. conch. There's the financial district straight ahead. There's no sidewalk along Bay Street. You have to walk along this stretch if you're on the west side of it.
I was like, we're outside waiting for you. I'm like, these guys are inside.
I think I just heard them booting everyone off the ice. Might get a view of the Zamboni putting around. No motorized vehicles beyond this point. I think there wouldn't really be any before that point.
Once you've exited the ice, please do not sit on the edge of the ice. The Zamboni does come close. Please stand behind the yellow mats. Thank you.
There's New City Hall. The Toronto sign. Looks like some people are trying to get some laps in before they get booted off. What hilariously bad timing. This seems to happen often when I record here. No soup for you.
Yes, for 2 hours.
Oh well, I've captured this in previous videos. We're gonna keep moving.
Attention, attention. The Zamboni will be coming on and off the ice. Please do not enter the ice unless instructed to do so by staff. Thank
There's
you.
the Zamboni. Which I think actually come from a company in California, I think I saw once. I think there's just one company that makes them. Unless it's been turned into a Kleenex situation where there's multiple brands and they're all just referred to as Zambonis. I don't really know how that works, but if you do, let me know down in the comments. I'd be curious to hear the answer. Yes, I'm aware I could just use Google. Not many people getting street meat right now. There's Old City Hall, designed by E.J. Lennox. Same guy behind the Athletic Building. The Athletic Club, I think, or the Stewart Building. It goes by both names. Casa Loma. And I think even Queen's Park. Queen Street here is closed between Bay and Victoria Street due to Ontario Line construction. And it doesn't seem to be all that believable, but it is. This tower is taller than the Elizabeth Tower in London. Houses Big Ben. I was in London not too long ago, and in person that one looks much taller. But it's also the scale of the surrounding buildings. Big Ben sticks out, whereas here, this tower is sandwiched between a number of much taller towers, or at least has a number of much taller towers to the south. As we enter the financial district. And the last block of this walk is going to overlap with the video I recorded yesterday. Walk around the downtown loop. For the last few blocks, I went south at King Bay. That would have been a Thursday. It was a little bit earlier than this. I think there's more people working in the office on Thursdays. And I think there was a Leaf game. There's just generally more people out. Got an eerie, almost quiet vibe to it.
Kasi nga sa inyo mama, may mold. Kunti lang naman.
This is Adelaide Street West, a one-way street. As we walk alongside First Canadian Place, still for now the tallest building in the country. I worked in that building for about 5 years. This is the most prominent intersection in the financial district, King and Bay. Bank of Nova Scotia on the northeast corner, CIBC on the southeast corner, TD Bank and its world-renowned TD Center, designed by Mies van der Rohe. Well, at least the initial development was. On the southwest corner, and Bank of Montreal, towering over the northwest corner. That's 4 out of the big 5. Royal Bank is located just south of here. All of the banks have multiple office towers in the downtown core.
We already
the old Toronto Stock Exchange on the right. That moved up to Adelaide Street. If you watch that downtown loop video, which I think I would have posted on Sunday morning, and this is probably going live Monday or Tuesday morning, I apologize for the overlap over the last few blocks. Hey, a traffic stop. There's the RBC Center, complete with real gold in its windows, built in the 70s when all the banks were trying to flex at one another. It's the shortest of all the bank-owned skyscrapers. Or I guess the banks don't really own the skyscrapers anymore, they lease them. And CIBC Square is straight ahead. And I think the building that's kind of twin to it, going up just to the north of it, you can see it's the tower with all its lights out, as it's not open yet, is barely taller than it. I think it's just a few stories taller. I wonder if that counts as being in the financial district or the South Core. I would say South Core as it is south of Front Street, but barely. There's Brookfield Place on the left. It was originally occupied by Canada Trust. And TD still has a lot of offices in there, but they merged with Canada Trust. There you can see the TD Canada Trust branding. Well, if I was more ambitious, I would keep going south down Bay Street until we get to the lake, but I'm gonna pop into Union Station here and make my way to a food court. Let's do something I've never done. That is, try entering through these doors. Are they open? Blue Bovine. Well, I've heard about this place. It's a very high-end steakhouse. I'm gonna make my way to one of the two food courts here. as we arrive in the Great Hall. I'll probably do a Union Station video in the somewhat near future. I'll pick a nice cold day to do that.
Just for good.
Right away.
I certainly could have picked a more direct route. There's Shake Shack, but I had Square Boy last night.
Did you just like rent a hotel? Are you just in a hotel?
This is kind of the more bougie food court on the left. There's a regular food court straight ahead. I have no idea what I want. I'm gonna figure that out. So I hope you enjoyed this one, walking south down Bay Street, starting at Bay, or just north of Bay and Bloor, and finishing up here at one of the food courts in Union Station. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I don't feel like paying $16.99 for a hot honey buffalo sandwich. And yeah, that's about that, eh? Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Now, what should I eat? Oh well, it's my problem. Yoink!